Reject the future. Embrace tradition. Alright, so I've been covering Sackboy mods for a little bit now, for about a week actually, and we have yet to cover the best mod that has ever been created. Classic Sackboy. But once again, I'll credit the creator SB Games in the description below for creating this mod, and if you want to download it yourself, you can check out the Dreamiverse Discord server. It should be in the workshop channel, under SB Mods is where you could find it. But Classic Sackboy, PS3, LittleBigPlanet 1, LittleBigPlanet 2, and I think LBP 3 uses the same model here of this original Sackboy. Unfortunately, it's not a model swap. You can kind of mix and match the old Sackboy model with the new Sackboy model, but you can't customize this Sackboy necessarily. It's kind of just a costume swap over the Clank costume, I believe. What's cool though is that model replacements are actually completely doable. It's just that they're way more complicated than just replacing a costume piece, so maybe one day we'll have a model replacement version of this mod, but as of right now it's a non-customizable Sackboy. But yeah, if you can't see a clear difference between this happy young fella and, well, this guy, this one is just way better in every way possible. Now, of course, I'm only kidding. Like, obviously, you could have a preference whether or not you like the new Sackboy model or not from SABA. As like a LittleBigPlanet fan, a long-time fan of the series, I just adore the classic look of Sackboy. And it's not necessarily all that different when you really look at it. It's more so, the model in LittleBigPlanet is just much lower quality. That's kind of like the charm of it, right? While in SABA, and even LBP 3 on PS4, the model of Sackboy is just kind of too high quality, man. I don't know how to explain it. There's just a special charm to the original Sackboy model that I can appreciate much more than, like, I guess people that grew up with, well, I don't want to say grew up, but have only played Sackboy Big Adventure and have only played LBP 3 on PS4. Really, it shouldn't matter at the end of the day, but to me, it makes a big difference, and it's just kind of cool to have this version of Sackboy in Sackboy Big Adventure. It's just a cool little costume to mess around with. Like, look at him, dude. Look at him. He's so cute. I've said this before to some people, but for whatever reason, Sackboy in LittleBigPlanet on PS3 just looks more soft. He looks more cuddly. He doesn't look like he'd be made out of like a rough material. He just looked like a sack doll made out of a very soft and pleasant material. Look at him go. I mean, like, how can you deny that this is the best version? Okay, that's kind of creepy. Not gonna lie, that is actually kind of horrifying. Thank you for that. But yeah, like I said, model imports themselves are a bit different from costume imports, and I think we will see some in the future. I know one model import, or not model import, but one model replacement has already been made, and I will cover that in a future video, probably, at some point. Model replacements are actually really neat, as you can just customize them like regular old Sackboy. Like, all the textures, all the costume pieces just go right on them, and you don't have to, like, you know, replace costume pieces, so that's pretty cool. Alright, for this next level, I'm actually going to experiment a little bit here. I'm going to try something that may or may not look good. We'll see, but I'm going to change the settings and lower them a little bit just to see how well that looks. Alright, so we're on low settings here, and it doesn't look as good as I hoped, but I was hoping to go for more of a LittleBigPlanet PS3 aesthetic, making the game lower quality in general, and it kind of just looks bad. And I'm probably going to change that back. There we go, that looks much better. As for like other Sackboy models, there's like a lot of stuff I want to see in this game in general, but Sackboy models, like, I think having like the Horde from LittleBigPlanet karting would be pretty cool, or maybe Paperboy from LBP 2, kind of like the Hollows from LBP Vita would be pretty funny to see. But yeah, just like LBP costumes imported to this game overall would be pretty cool to see, and I know some people are doing that. It's just a matter of time before we see like a lot of our fan favorite LBP costumes make it into SABA. We saw Sonic and like even the Lost Parappa costume in my first video I did on Sackboy modding. And that's just the beginning. I know people were kind of upset when you couldn't import your LBP costumes and DLC into SABA when it first came out. And I completely understand that, but at the same time, it's kind of a completely different game. And this game is like separated completely from the LBP series, so I doubt they would want to transfer all that over. What I'm trying to say is that it's not as easy as just importing it and calling it a day. I know you could do that with some costumes, and like the Sonic costume, for example, looks really good in SABA, but other costumes would probably need some tweaking. And I doubt Sony was down for that, because that would probably take a lot more time than they hoped. One day in the future, though, I really do hope if we get an LBP 4 that our DLC does transfer over somehow. I completely doubt it, though. Like, again, moving all that stuff to a new game is kind of crazy. There we go. I think I'm going to take a look at one more level here and then call it quits. Why don't we go over here to this collectible minigame thing? I haven't tried that out yet in a video. Although I will admit, there is completely no need for me to be doing this just because I have like max collectibles because of the save file I'm using. I have like 1 million or something collectibles. As for why I have so many collectibles, well, you could just download a 100% save file somewhere that someone has, and it's your save file. It's as easy as that. 116, let's go. That's about it though. I only took a look at one mod today, and this is probably the shortest mod showcase I've done so far. I am probably going to slow down a bit on the mod showcases just because I've done 3 of these in a row now, and I do want some variety on the channel. So, the next video won't be a mod showcase like this one, but I will be covering more mods in the future, don't you worry. Thank you for watching though, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.